In this video, I'm going to be summarizing 5 key concepts from the book Reality Transurfing by Vadim Zeland. This book will probably change your life. It changed mine in a very realistic, practical, and emotional way. But let's first start by talking about who is Vadim Zeland. He says he's over 50. He used to work in quantum physics, and he lives in Russia. But he says, I don't, however, want to advertise my personal life. Fame turns against you. You can distribute a product of personal creativity, but release your personality for mass circulation? Never. Interesting dude. And of course, he's wearing sunglasses, right? Let's get to this first concept of the alternatives space. Let me say that out of all 5 concepts, this one is the most woo-woo or hard to apply, but it's still valuable. He says the alternative space records everything that ever was or will be. The number of alternative realities is infinite, just as the number of possible coordinate points on a graph is infinite. So here's how we would apply this. Think of something that you've been wanting, whether it's a car, a relationship, a promotion at work, and instead of asking yourself, how do I get that to be my reality? Tell yourself that there already exists a reality where I have that car, I have that relationship, and to transurf onto that lifeline, to connect to that reality, what do I need to change in my internal vibration? Which leads to concept number 2, excess potential. Examples of excess potential given by Zeland include desire, envy, feelings of inferiority, irritation, and dissatisfaction. If you're trying to make a huge effort to achieve the goal as soon as possible, or you doubt your abilities, or you fear difficulties, it means your importance level is embellished. I see this a lot when I teach skateboarding class. I'll teach a new trick, and then instead of trying it, sometimes the students will start telling stories about why that trick is outside of their abilities. When you allow yourself to carry excess potential, you open yourself up to being hooked by the pendulum, which is concept number 3. I don't know if an explicit definition of pendulum is given in the book, but I'll provide a story from my own life that I think clearly demonstrates the concept. So back when I lived in Chicago, I worked at a mental health nonprofit. One day I was promoted to case manager. There were already 5 of us, so now I was the 6th one, and our office only had 4 computers. So I asked everybody, hey, you guys have been at 5 case managers this whole time and 4 computers. Did you ever ask for a 5th computer? Yep, every week we've been asking for another one. It's like we don't exist to them. They just ignore us. We're nothing to them. At that moment, the vice president walks down the hallway. He stops and he says, hey guys. One of us goes, hey, how about that 5th computer? Vice president goes, yeah, email my secretary. He walks away. Huge uproar. Everybody turns to me and they say, you see, that's what they do all the time. They say, yeah, and they don't do anything about it. At that moment, you could say everyone was hooked by the pendulum. Zeland uses terms like hooked by the pendulum or caught by the pendulum. And so I imagine this giant pendulum with a hook on it that if you have excess potential, it's gonna hook onto you and scoop you up. When you see people go on rants, that's what it looks like. They complain, they voice their discontentment, but that's energy they're feeding to the pendulum. And that's what allows it to keep swinging. But what did I do in this situation? Because I was new, and maybe you could say naive, I heard the vice president tell us to email his secretary. So without telling my coworkers, I emailed the secretary. 2 weeks later, brand new computer gets delivered. Everyone was shocked. But what's the lesson there? I didn't tell myself stories of excess potential. Instead, I just simply took action. And that leads to concept number 4, pure intention. Zeland defines pure intention as desire and action without the attribution of importance. He says going to the store to buy a newspaper is pure intention. Going to the mailbox to get your mail is pure intention because it's not polluted by excess potential. You don't overthink it, you don't have doubt, you don't have irritation. It's a simple, pure action. I think the difficulty is applying that to all areas in our life. Maybe areas where there appears to be more at stake. But here's the application question. Where in your life have you been using what Zeland calls inner intention, the pushing, the struggling? And could you benefit from changing that to what Zeland would say, pure intention or outer intention, dispassionately taking action steps toward your goal? How do you do something like that? And I think that leads to concept number 5, the target slide. Zeland says that the target slide is the central instrument in reality transurfing. It's visualizing a picture. You imagine yourself in that reality. You look around and the goal is achieved. Is this just another manifestation technique? Maybe, but I think there's more to it and there's more I could say, but I want to encourage everybody to go pick up the book and read it. Check the description for a link to the book on Amazon. If this video is helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Think deeply and put your existence first.